The opinions expressed on Tomahawk Talk do not reflect those of WVFS Tallahassee.
We welcome you back into another episode of Tomahawk Talk. I'm your host, Gia Ciaccio, joined by my co host, Cole Kruger, as well as our panelists tonight, Trey Pope and Matty Ice. No Collins today because we're not live from 420 Diffenbaugh. We've kind of been doing a little back and forth in studio, out of studio alternation. So if you're used to listening live, we appreciate you listening to our published episode. A lot happened in the sports world week. I mean, a lot to get into. Obviously, a crazy week for New York, for the Carolina Hurricanes, but we'll get into a little bit of NBA Finals and Stanley Cup first, just because it's over now. So the sports world has gotten slightly boring. I think the only thing we're happy about is that there's a World Cup to look forward to. But if you're a baseball fan, it's all focus on us now. So we're a little happy about that. But starting off with the NBA Finals, obviously the New York Knicks are NBA champions for the first time since 1973, beating the Spurs and earning their revenge win against the franchise that denied them a title in 1999 in their last NBA Finals appearance. Trey, obviously you being a huge Knicks fan, pretty sure you've only been alive for one Yankees World Series win, but does this one
That is
feel
correct.
bigger? does this one feel bigger? Is this like are New York fans probably happiest about this win?
Well, I'll tell you, I was watching with my uncle, my mom, both born right after the 1973 championship, so they've never seen that. My uncle's been watching the Knicks since as long as he can remember. Like my family's all from Long Island. They've been rooting hard, and like my uncle was, tears were shed on Saturday night. We bought some fireworks, lit them off after the game. Like it was. I mean, you said compare it to 2009 Yankees. I was 3 years old. I don't remember that series. Like, this was the first time me as a sports fan have really appreciated a championship run as a New York sports fan, and it's been electric. Like, I am over the moon for the last week.
Do you think New York fans now hold Jalen Brunson higher than Aaron Judge?
I mean, I think before even the finals win that he was the king of New York. Like, Aaron Judge is a better like he's a better baseball player than Jalen Brunson is a basketball player. I don't think that's a debate. But when it comes to the King of New York moniker or title or whatever you want to call it, like the New York baseball fandom is split between the Mets and the Yankees, and there are Mets fans who probably hate Aaron Judge just because he wears the pinstripes, and Jalen Brunson kind of unites the city in a way that doesn't happen in baseball or football or hockey.
I do love that about the Knicks. It's kind of like all New York fans, Jets, Giants fans, like you all fans come together for the Knicks. I love that. But
What
It's
we all
great.
watched the series. Go
what
ahead,
about the
Cole.
Nets? Like I want
Nobody
to
cares about the Nets.
like
Yeah, no,
Nobody cares.
they
I
they
forgot
may
about them.
they may be
I
the
really
most
did.
irrelevant. They may be the most irrelevant franchise of the Big Four.
when they had Katie Harden and Kyrie a few years ago. I mean, everyone was a Nets fan.
That's not true.
I
Just wrong.
that's what I remember. Even go look at Frank the Tank. He's a huge Nets fan. All of a sudden, the guy's rocking Knicks gear, going to all the games, cheering hard for the Knicks. It just
He
you can't
rocks blue
just.
and orange. That's what it is. He's a
I'm not
Mets
going to
fan, and
use Frank the
he had a
Tank
lot of
as
blue
a
and orange.
barometer for anything either. I'm not a huge fan of Frank the Tank in all honesty.
I mean, I'm
Are we
sure everyone is more
surprised?
split about Mets Yankees, but more so than Knicks Nets. But just gotta call it the fans that are fans of both teams, and now they're because I was very annoyed with seeing everyone post random pictures of them in Knicks jerseys when they were 6 or 8 years old,
Well, okay,
claiming
we
to
were
be a
we
Knicks fan.
actually we talked about that on the instant reaction. Amanda, Will, and I, because I asked them, I was like, "What do you guys think about the bandwagons?" Because some Knicks fans are like, "I don't care if you've never watched a single regular season game ever. If you're a Knicks fan in the finals, we want all the support." And at first, like I thought the same thing. Like people are like, "Oh, I've always been a Knicks fan," and it's like, okay, maybe you were, but like. And then I think, okay, if the Rays were in the World Series, I'm not going to bandwagon the Rays and say like, "Oh, you haven't been with the team forever." I might say like, maybe I'm a bigger fan than you, but like I want all the support for the Rays. So I feel like if you're a Knicks fan and you haven't made that, you haven't been to the final since 1999, you're like, yeah, be a Knicks fan, sure.
Wait, if you're a New Yorker and the city is alive and has an electric atmosphere, who are you to deny another fellow New Yorker that experience? Like that is truly a unifying moment for the city. There are people on like the Today Show talking about how this is the most united New York City has been since the aftermath of 9/11. Like this was a huge event for the city of New York. Like that is a serious comparison being made. And to say that just because you didn't watch Tim Hardaway Jr. wear blue and orange means you're less of a fan or don't deserve the happiness that comes with a finals run is kind of insane to me. Like
I think it's more so that it's people that aren't New Yorkers, like especially living in Florida, knowing so many people in Florida, everyone just posting the Knicks. Like I mean, it's just it's for social media. It's an act. If you're not a true fan, don't post. You know, that was the part that started to annoy me because obviously credit to the Knicks, one of the greatest playoff runs that I've witnessed as a sports fan. So I'm not taking the championship away from them. I'm taking the championship away from the fans that are coming out of the woodworks all of a sudden as Knicks fans when they have never even uttered the word New York or Knicks in the last 5 or 6 years that I've known them.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
I would agree with that. Like if you're not from New York and you just decide that it's hype because they haven't won in so long and you have zero connection to the city or Long Island or the state of New York or even like the New Jersey, like the New York metro area, then yeah, that would be 100% invalid to bandwagon that living in Florida or outside of New York. Like,
I was just gonna say part of that is just that the New York metro area is so big. So, there's probably gonna be way more fake fans, if you will, especially if you live out in Brooklyn and you're a Nets fan, and then you're like, oh well, the rest of the city's hopping on the bandwagon. Like my team is terrible and always has been, so why don't I just hop on this bandwagon? Not to excuse their behavior, but that's just why probably this is such a big conversation.
I think people are also taking the word fan like out of like as a reach, like any support. Like for example, Will has consistently been saying that I'm a Knicks hater and a New York hater, which isn't true. I guess my hatred with New York lies with the Yankees, but even that, I don't really, really hate the Yankees. Like, but I never didn't support the Knicks. I just wanted the Spurs to win for Vassell and Wemby and them being such a young team. And I thought the storylines were cool. And then like obviously once the Knicks won it or were winning or close, seemingly close to, winning, they were up 3-1. And I didn't switch. Like I was always a neutral fan, but I was supporting the storylines as far as like good for you guys. Like you haven't won since ESPN was invented. So people I like Will's like, oh, have you changed your mind yet? Are you a fan now? And I'm like, well, I was never a fan of either team, I feel like. So I feel like people are taking any support to either team and saying like, oh, like you've never been there. Like, so that's where I feel like it's coming from. But we all kind of expected the Spurs to like decimate the Knicks. Not all of us. But I feel like we made our no, not all of us. We made our predictions before, and a lot of us.
I never said
we all
that.
said Spurs in 6 for the like instant reactions and like leading up to it in the preview. Like I really thought Spurs in 6, and even when they were 3-1, I said Spurs in 7. Like I didn't see the Spurs going down in 5, but there were some pretty clear mistakes for the Spurs beyond just Jalen Brunson being Jalen Brunson. But yeah, I want to bring up, especially talking about Jalen Brunson, his dad, Rick Brunson, like it was the most weird interview I've ever seen. It was inside the NBA after they won and Rick and Jalen were upstairs. And Charles asked Jalen, or he asked Rick, like, did you expect when he got sent to the Knicks, like when he decided to turn down $100 million, did you expect him to be the player that he was? And he went on to say like, no, and I'm so proud of him, blah, blah, blah. But then like, it was so weird. Like he was like hyping him up and saying he was proud of him, but also like taking away and saying like, I want to make no like mistake. Patrick Ewing is the best Knick ever. And Charles Barkley was like, I didn't say that. Like, yeah, he was the number one
That
pick.
wasn't
Like,
the
obviously,
question. Like,
yeah, you expect that. And he was like, no, yeah, I know. But and then Kenny was like, I think there's a debate now. And Rick was like, nah, my fella's the best. Like, is that like good parenting or like,
He's
I
the
don't know. What are your
opposite.
guys?
He's the opposite of LeVar Ball, who thinks Lonzo is better than LeBron.
Yeah.
he thinks Lonzo's better than Michael Jordan.
Did he say that?
I'm pretty
I
sure
was
that was a debate.
I was enjoying the Inside the NBA for pretty much all the playoffs, and then once Draymond Green started to come on, I kind of I pulled away. I don't know if you guys saw, I think after it was game 4, after that comeback, and Chuck said so, or Draymond said that he was apologizing to Brunson, and Brunson was just deadpan face, had no interest in accepting. I don't even know what he was apologizing for. I couldn't find a single thing that anyone knew what Draymond was apologizing for, and Brunson wanted nothing to do with it. And that was how the interview and the show ended, was just an awkward moment between Draymond, who I always hate when they have active players on stuff like that. But except like Jameis Winston, I think it's fine when he does it. But like, why are you going to have Draymond interview these guys and be on this panel if he's still playing in the NBA? Plus, he's like one of the most hated NBA players
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like a
last
weird
like 10
conflict of
years.
interest almost.
Yeah, it is. It's just, and he doesn't really gel with the rest of the cast really well. And you already have such a good thing going with those 4 guys up there. There's no reason to just throw Draymond Green in there. Like he doesn't add anything.
Yeah.
I would agree.
You got Also,
I
I
was
want
gonna
to point out, I saw this TikTok that someone pointed out that Dylan Jones, which I didn't like look into this really. Dylan Jones, is the luckiest man alive. He won last year with OKC and this year with the Knicks and did not play a single minute in either finals. I don't even think he played a single minute in the playoffs, but did not play a single minute, back-to-back champ, 2 different teams. And he did absolutely nothing. So good for him. Luckiest man alive. But we've talked about this before, about the Spurs. I think this was their series to lose. But do you guys think that they're going to go on a generational run like everyone's kind of been saying? Or do you think that this is kind of it for Wemby? This is like his one shot?
Well,
I,
obviously he's going to get more than one shot. He's 22. He's already, he's been so great so early in his career. And, I feel like one thing that he's just so good at, shooting threes, even though he's like 7'8" or whatever he is, or like 8 foot. And
I wish he wouldn't, though.
he's an incredible defender. Um, I would just be shocked if they never make it back because like this year they looked like the best team in the West. If it's either them or OKC and they beat them like 3 times in the regular season, so and in the conference finals. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got so many more shots. Like if he never made it back, I feel like something would have to go horribly wrong.
I think the bigger
Yeah.
question is, I agree with Matty Ice in the fact that I think they are going to 100% make it back. They might even be in the same position next year. My question would be, do you pretty much just run the same team back next year? Like, I think what you saw to Dylan Harper in game 4 and 5 was really encouraging. Drafting him third overall or second overall, whatever it was. Vassell was good for them. Castle was good for them. Obviously, you have the outlier in De'Aaron Fox. Maybe I know he's on that big contract, but what do you do with him? You try to go out and get another guard. You try to maybe get another big man for Wemby besides Luke Cornett, who is not a good backup option. But do you run it back next year? Do you just kind of take this and say, you know what, we're the youngest team in the NBA. This was a learning experience. We won the West. We beat the defending champs, and we got beat by a really hot and really good Knicks team. Do you just kind of go into the offseason and say, use it as fuel and try to come back next season and get over that hump?
I
I mean,
think so. I think they're young. They're a young team where all they have is room for development. And I think their only flaw was their immaturity. And I didn't see that until the finals. I didn't see it in the OKC series. And I mean, take Wemby alone. I've said so many times that I love passionate players, but he got way too emotional. It got in the way of all of their losses. I mean, they statistics wise, I'm sure we've all seen it. They led like majority of every game. Like their youth tanked them so hard. I think that, obviously besides De'Aaron Fox, like if you just like keep what you have and like use it as a learning lesson, like I don't think that they would go on a run like for years to come if they didn't lose this series. This definitely was a learning moment for them. And the Knicks were just like so hot. So it was a combination
I
of
would
both
agree.
of those things.
I would agree. I feel like before the season, you say Wemby's first postseason experience, he makes it all the way to the finals. That is by definition a success, in my opinion. Like they're running that back would not be a crazy move. And because of how young this team is, they're only gonna really get better. I don't really like none of these players really strike me as a sophomore slump kind of like, especially with like Harper was hot and played exactly what you want out of him. Like I don't really think other teams are gonna figure him out next year or something like that. And so when it's just this team plus another year of development or two years of development, like they're only gonna get better. And I don't think a huge roster upheaval is really needed for the San Antonio Spurs.
Trey,
Well,
I have a question for you. I was on Twitter today and I saw a picture. I know you're not a big Giants fan or football fan in general, but I saw the New York Mount Rushmore. It was Brunson, Jeter, and Eli Manning, and the fourth spot was empty. I was curious to see who you would put in that fourth spot.
I mean, is it like modern or like all-time New York sports?
I mean, if we're going like, I feel like it's more those three guys. It's like in the last 20 years. I mean,
Yeah, because like
obviously
if I were to go
Derek
you put like
Jeter
Cole
doesn't
all-time,
Kruger
seem
on there.
modern though.
I mean,
Derek doesn't
well,
seem modern.
first thing that comes to mind when I say fourth spot would be Babe Ruth. So like when we're talking modern, Derek Jeter's modern. Like he
So
played
let's
until
say let's say
2012.
let's say in the last 20 years, you cannot put
Like
Babe
since
Ruth in there.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Since 2000, I would go probably Eli Manning, Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter, Brunson. Like you could argue Carmelo Anthony, just like same reason that Brunson's the king of New York, because like the Knicks are New York's team. New York is a basketball town before they're a baseball town. But Aaron Judge, rookie of the year, two like multiple MVPs, like home run AL home run single season home run record holder. Oh my goodness. Um, I would argue that if you're talking the modern game, just with most skilled athletes to play in New York as well as cultural impact, that fourth spot is Aaron Judge's to take.
Matty Ice, would you consider throwing in Henrik Lundqvist in that fourth spot?
Maybe, but he doesn't have a cup, so I think that would make it pretty hard to throw him up there. Like trying to
But
think Rangers.
Judge doesn't have a World Series either. I mean, like you could throw like Mark Messier in there, but that's like not as modern
That's
as
probably
like
too far back. Yeah.
yeah.
Like other
I
than
saw I,
that,
I saw a lot of comments saying Henrik Lundqvist, which is a good like he is definitely the best Rangers player
yeah,
since
I
the
guess we're gonna put
2000s.
Judge up there. Like Lundqvist right now is probably still better all time than Judge is, but like Judge will probably catch him like in the next like 5 years.
I would
Yeah.
Judge
agree.
has got to win a World Series to like cement himself in that like all time. I mean, I think he is still like an all time New York Yankee, but he's like to cement himself
I
as
mean,
an
he's the
all
best
time New
player in New
York.
York right now. Like
Yeah,
that's not a debate. Like he's the best athlete and who plays for a New York City team. Like
over Brunson.
100%. Judge is
Well,
like the
it's
second best
Aaron
player in
Judge's
baseball.
consistency. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
him being AL MVP multiple time, right? Multiple times.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah. Um,
Like
but
Judge is the second best player in baseball. Like
yeah,
arguably first if you really, really, really don't like Otani for some reason. But like he is like Jalen Brunson is by like there's no one saying he's the second best player in the NBA.
yeah.
Like that's not a
Well,
debate.
lots of wins for New York. Hopefully the Yankees don't stay winning, just for the sake of my Rays. But getting into a little Stanley Cup recap, um, the NHL season concluded on Sunday with the Hurricanes being crowned the 2026 Stanley Cup champions for the first time in 20 years. Matty Ice, you want to give us a little rundown on that?
Sure thing, Gia. Like you said, Carolina Hurricanes are the 2026 Stanley Cup champions. Sorry, Will, I know you're listening and you hate this with every fiber of your being, but it's reality, so you can't deny it. Hurricanes won the final three games of the series after they went down 2-1 against Vegas, and Vegas is now dropped to 1-2 in their brief history in the Stanley Cup Final, which going three times in 9 years is incredible. John Tortorella had his legacy run there, but he's saying sayonara. It was confirmed today that he will not be back. So that's one thing Vegas has to figure out this season is who their new coach will be. Uh, I think it would be crazy if they went out and hired Bruce Cassidy back because he Vegas denied Edmonton the ability to interview him. So I don't know. I think that would just be something that we could watch out for. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. Hiring Torts with 8 games in the regular season to go is, one of those things that's right up there, I guess, with, that happening. But in terms of Carolina winning anyway, lots of interesting firsts along the way. One of them being that Jordan Stahl is the oldest winner of the Conn Smythe ever at age 37, which is the playoffs MVP for those who are unfamiliar. And his 12 points are the fewest from a Conn Smythe winner since 1967. So I think he got this just based off his leadership ability and his clutchness in the Stanley Cup final. He scored in the first 5 games. So, that's really tough to top. Some other notable first time winners out of this: Freddie Anderson, Taylor Hall, Jacob Slavin, and Nick Ehlers are all players who have
Matty
been around
Ice,
for a while. Yeah, what's up?
tell me about what is his name? Brandon. He was a
Hussey?
goalie for Carolina. Yeah. I saw a crazy post about him. I don't remember what it was. I know like he got his very first start in I'm pretty sure I don't remember if his first start ever, but his first start in the playoffs
It
was
was his
in the
his
finals.
first two career playoff starts. Both came in the finals, and he's the first goaltender to ever have his first two playoff starts in the final and win both of them.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
he was picked up off waivers in like October from the Panthers. So like he was literally a nobody heading into this year. So
Wow.
just absolutely crazy that he, came out of nowhere and led the Hurricanes to the Stanley Cup. I guess technically that would mean he's the third rookie goalie who has backstopped his team to a Stanley Cup if you count them just like being there in the last game. But something cool that we can throw in there as well. I'm pretty sure both the Hurricanes and the Knicks finished the playoffs 16-3. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
And oh no, the Hurricane Carolina 1-6. Um, but that would have been cool.
So that was the second best record of all time in the playoffs since the playoffs expanded such that you had to win 16 games to win the cup. So, they had an incredibly dominant run, and it's kind of funny that the Knicks also did. And Carolina did lose back-to-back games since January 13th. So they went the final 5 months of the season without losing a single game, or I guess without dropping back-to-back games. Um, how do you guys feel overall about Carolina winning the cup? Like, what are
I
just the vibes coming your way?
I don't know too much about hockey, but as a sports fan, like it's just cool to see like two finals going on at the same time and two teams that haven't won in so long win. Like it's been such a good sports week. And like I didn't watch too much of the playoffs of like the NHL playoffs. I watched majority of just like the Stanley Cup finals. But it made me want to watch more. I may become a hockey fan, Matty Ice.
Let's go. I mean, we could always use more of those, but maybe not too many. So then it doesn't get corporatized like the NFL and get like a bunch of commercials. But I don't think it's ever going to get there. So I don't think I have much to worry about there. So yeah, Gia, come on out.
I mean, as a
Um,
as a Rangers fan, it's exciting to see like Andrew Miller win a ring because like Rangers fans didn't necessarily treat him the best, and I thought he was fun to watch. So that's just my 2 cents on a Hurricanes final. And the Golden Knights are not a likable team for a multitude of reasons, so I am okay with them going home.
well, ironically, we have the Will versus Vegas segment, but he teamed up with Vegas this time around. You're probably
Yeah.
the only one who did
As a
Yeah.
as a
because,
Panthers
they're
fan, this was probably the worst possible scenario for the Stanley Cup final, like going into it. Just the team that beat the Panthers 2 years ago in 2023. Like I could speak probably on behalf of all Panthers fans that I despise the Knights and I hate them so much, but I was rooting for them in this series because Carolina has been the Panthers' biggest rival over the last 2 seasons. I mean, it's not even a rivalry because the Panthers own them, a sweep and a gentleman's sweep the last 2 seasons in the Eastern Conference Final. It was cool, like good for Stahl, good for Jacob Slavin, Team USA. I just feel so bad for Freddie Anderson. I mean, carried this Carolina team all year long and really didn't have a great start in the Stanley Cup final and was a little injured. And no one is going to remember Freddie Anderson as a Stanley Cup champ on this Carolina team because Brandon Bussey was so good coming in, these last few games, especially shutting out the Knights on the road in Game 6 in the series clinching game. I feel horrible for Freddie Anderson because he has had such a storied career, and this was really his time to shine. On the Conn Smythe, I just want to shout out Brad Marchand because he would have been the oldest player to win the Conn Smythe last year, and I personally thought he should have won the Conn Smythe. But great for Jordan Stahl, both of his brothers, Panthers alumni. They lost the cup for the Panthers in 23, but he's such a great leader, and I agree with you that I think it was just that record setting. I mean, the first player since I think the 50s to have a goal in each of the first 5 Stanley Cup final games. So historic. And I also just feel bad for this Canes team in general because I just think they were completely overshadowed by the Knicks the entire time. And I don't know if it was just like me caring a lot the last 2 years about the Panthers being in it, but I just feel like no one really cared about this series or the Canes winning, especially because it was going on at the same time as Knicks Spurs.
I feel like I might have to
Yeah.
disagree with you a little bit just because I'm pretty sure the viewership was very strong in this final from what I read. Like I think it was top 5 ever in terms of viewership. In terms of the Freddie Anderson thing, I don't know. I don't know if I would say he's going to be forgotten because Bussy only won the final 3 games of that series, and I guess they were the biggest games. But Bussy himself even said that all credit goes to Freddie because he led us to this point, and I wouldn't have been able to do what I did if it wasn't for him. And he was tremendous in the first 3 rounds of this playoffs. He just kind of ran to a red hot Vegas team who just, was scoring at will on him at least. I guess not Brandon Bussey, but he still had his moments in this run. I think I'm pretty sure he was up there as one of the Conn Smythe favorites heading into the final. So, he just kind of fell apart in the final. So that's obviously not going to get you anything. But um looking ahead to next season, at least, the Hurricanes are the favorites at plus 700, and the Panthers are the fourth best. So they're still right
How are
in
the
the mix
Lightning
there, tied
looking?
with the Oilers. The Lightning are right behind them at plus 1200. So
Okay.
sixth best odds, or I guess you could say tied for fifth. So, they should be right in the mix as well. They
Yeah,
got some,
that was a tough loss, but a great 7 game series.
yeah, that
I
was
thought
probably the best series of the playoffs, easily.
I'm
Canadian
this is a
Sabres was pretty
weird,
good too.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
This is
just
a
fun to
weird
watch.
time of year where like obviously like NHL's over, NBA's over, football starting in a few months. As of I'm a baseball fan, so I'm set. But there's really not much going on other than that. I mean, we have the World Cup to watch, but that doesn't happen every year, obviously.
I mean, what does
So I
happen
don't
every
know.
year is
Maybe
Major League Soccer.
this is true. This is true. We lack coverage on the MLS, that's for sure.
But they're also
Maybe I don't.
switching their schedule around so where it's going to
Oh,
align with NBA and NHL. So that is true for
okay.
next season, and that's it. So
Well,
super
yeah.
cool.
Well, since we do have one more sport to, I don't want to say that we're not looking forward to MLS, Trey. Sorry, but I think we're a little more excited about the World Cup right now. The biggest FIFA
Correct.
World Cup in history currently is underway. 48 teams are competing across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. There's an expanded format that features 12 groups of 4 teams, top 2 teams of each group, and the 8 best third place finishers advance to the new round of 32. So they do a little bit of group play. Team USA is currently in Group D. They got up to a strong start with a dominant win over Paraguay and will look to keep their momentum playing Australia in their next match on Friday at 3 p.m. So there's a couple groups that haven't played yet. Argentina's playing for the first time tonight. Portugal's playing for the first time tomorrow. But Trey, first off, what are your thoughts on the expanded tournament and obviously there being 104 games now?
I mean, as a fan of sports, like not even like a U.S. soccer fan, it's just exciting. I mean, a tournament lasting a month and a half is awesome. Like there's at this point in the group stage, 3 games a day. Me and my neighbors were like bouncing back and forth between each other's houses, watching games all day. I have a game on in the background right now. Actually, I'm watching Norway. It's like I mean, I don't know if you guys have like necessarily nostalgic memories for the 2022 World Cup, but I was still in high school when that was going on and watching them like on the projector in the front of the classroom during class. Like that was awesome. That was just an exciting
Messi winning.
experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. I watched that with my friends. That was like one of the greatest soccer games of all time, the 2022 World Cup final. And I think expanding it is only a good thing. Like, yes, you're going to have some games like Germany versus Curacao where Germany wins 7-1. But for, I
Yeah,
think it
but
was
even
about
then, it was like that was their first time like making the World Cup and their first goal, and they were cheering even though it was 7-1. They were like almost like sobbing, like as if that was like,
Well,
which I
for
think
like
is
15
awesome.
minutes, it was yeah, for 15
Yeah,
minutes
but
it was tied 1-1. And like that's awesome. Like
oh,
if
I
you're a
didn't
Curacao
realize
fan, you're
that.
tied with Germany. Yeah. They
I
they
don't
were
know.
tied 1-1.
I thought they were ahead, but that's
Well,
cool.
yeah, so Germany scored the first goal, it was 1-0, and then uh Curacao tied it for like and then Germany they conceded a second goal from Germany 15 minutes later. But for 15 minutes
And
Germany
then
was tied with
six
Curacao.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
was a
see
rough
teams
watch
like
if you're a
Italy
Curacao
not
fan, but
even
like
you see teams like Italy not even qualify, which is crazy. Like, and then
exactly.
teams like, yeah. So I like the layout. I think
Well,
obviously with a tournament happening every 4 years, at first I was like, okay, this is too much. Like, it's just too many games. But then it's like soccer's not the same as like playing baseball. Like the USA played last week. Like they're fine to play another game. And it's just more soccer to
yeah.
watch. Like you're just watching a lot more. And for a tournament that happens every 4 years, I think it's cool that there's 104 games to watch now.
Yeah, and you got Cabo Verde who drew against Spain, and Spain is, I think, before the tournament, the number one favorite to win the entire thing. Now they're, I believe, tied with France. But it's just you have small countries like that who, yes, they technically are always in contention for a World Cup with the way qualifiers work. Qualifiers start 2 years before the tournament does, but having them on the global stage, traveling to the host site, traveling to the USA rather than just playing qualifiers in their home country, it's like I don't see a world where having 48 teams is better or is worse than 32.
Yeah. This is, I mean, the round of 32 hasn't even started yet, but this already feels like the most memorable World Cup already, just especially, I guess it being in the US too, like all the tourists and like seeing like so many Japanese tourists like try Texas Roadhouse and like them
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
loving it. Like that's so
It's
fun to
awesome.
see. And yeah, obviously the USA has never gone past the semifinals, right? Yeah, they've never gone
Well, in
past the
1930,
semifinals.
they got third place
Oh yeah, that
in the
in the
first World
World
Cup,
Cup's
but
first year ever. Yeah, they got third place, and then
yeah,
ever
they
since
got third
then
place.
they've never gone past the round of 16. It's always just kind of been like
Yeah.
Argentina, Spain, like yeah,
I mean,
Big dogs.
I would like to note the
yeah,
1930 World Cup. That was 1930. Air travel was expensive, and most of the European teams didn't make the flight to Uruguay and Paraguay for the tournament. So us making third
right,
place is not even that big of an accomplishment, considering that the best teams in the world weren't even at that tournament. So
right.
not worth bragging about 100 years ago. But
Yeah, this team is looking better than previous US teams, though. I mean, do you think they're going farther or no?
well, 2022. I mean, they got eliminated in the round of 16 with a 3-1 loss to Netherlands. And the Netherlands are always a good team. Like that is not a disappointing result. That is not a coaching failure or anything like that. But I mean, I like this year, this team is better than 2022 for sure. I mean, Weston McKennie is the most, in my opinion, the most versatile soccer player in the world. He played 10 of 11 positions for Juventus last year. Like he played everything other than goalkeeper. That's just insane. Christian Pulisic is, I mean, also in my opinion, the best American soccer player of all time. Like he has not been the most productive in a USA jersey, but when you're talking about his performances for AC Milan and Chelsea, he is one of arguably the best U.S. player of all time. And Pulisic and McKennie have just gotten better since the 2022 World Cup. You have Malik Tillman and Folarin Balogun. This is their first time wearing a USA jersey at the World Cup. Balogun scored 2 goals. One of them, like a left-footed. He is a right-footed player. Scored a left-footed 2-on-1 goal. I believe to go up 2-0 in against Paraguay. Just
Mhm.
an electric player. I mean, you could argue that he is not an American. I mean, he's only lived here for a month of his life and was raised in London by Nigerian immigrant parents, but he was born here, so he gets
Okay,
to
we all
represent the
watch the
Stars and Stripes.
WBC. It's how it goes.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. I mean,
it's
he had like Nigeria, England, and the USA all wanted him, and he picked the USA. So he is an American in my eyes. He wears the stars and stripes, and he said he wants to represent his country, and he called the USA his country. That makes me proud. But
Yeah.
it's just I'm much more excited about the 2026 World Cup. I believe our ceiling is higher than 2022. We have a better coach. Mauricio Pochettino is much better than not Sebastian. Sebastian's his son, Greg Berhalter. Greg Berhalter was a horrific coach for Team USA. I was so happy he was fired. Like, with all due respect, he is much more knowledgeable about soccer than I could ever hope to be. But like, it's just the way he ran the team, and the U.S. Soccer Federation was a mess with him at the helm. And I am so happy that we have someone who is a career soccer coach at the helm. Like, I'm very excited about the World Cup this year.
Yeah. I know you watched the France game earlier and you joked that Mbappe sucks because obviously he does not suck.
I mean, he's
And
a
I,
top 3 goal scorer in the world, yeah. But
yeah, he leads. He's the all-time France scorer ever. So
yeah, clearly a good
yeah,
player. But there's just a
yeah. You
couple of
think France is
chances.
winning it all?
I mean, they did win their game. Like, I think before the tournament started, they were second in the odds. I believe they're first now because of the way Spain played against Cabo Verde, and France played convincingly well against Senegal today. And Senegal is a better team than Cabo Verde, so seeing France play better against a better team than Spain did against a worse team does give me more confidence in France. And I guess it took Mbappe a little bit of time to wake up. He scored 2 goals, so like clearly good player. But like it took, I believe his first goal was the 66th minute, and then he scored in like the 89th or something like that. It was. I mean, a lot of these teams they're not used to playing in the American weather. Like the USA is a warmer country than their home countries and where they play clubs in Europe. So France is definitely the best team in the tournament, in my opinion. Like I would not be surprised. They've made the last 2 finals in a row. They're looking to get their 3rd final in a row. They won the 2018 World Cup. They are a force to be reckoned with on the international stage.
Yeah. Well, USA is currently tied in their group with Australia with 3 points. And they play them Friday at 3. So hopefully they win to keep, I think obviously it's if you tie, it's 1 point. If you lose, it's 0 points. And if you win, it's 3 points in your group. And then if you're tied with a team in your group, they do it by like goal differential and stuff. But hopefully the USA just decimates Australia. So we don't really have to worry about that. But getting into a little bit of MLB team talk, since it's pretty much the only sport left to watch right now. I'm not complaining about that. But Matty Ice, kick us off. Let's hear about how them Pirates are doing.
Well, I'm complaining that the MLB is still here because once again, who could have guessed the Pirates suck again? We lost 11-2 to the A's last night, who they're okay, aren't they?
I was gonna say
Oh, they're in a
the
wild
A's
card
aren't bad
spot.
right now. They're second in the AL West. Not that the AL West is doing great right now at all, but I mean they're second. They're winning. They're winning 500 right now.
All right, I guess it's not terrible, but still, the offense is actually somewhat okay, and of course, they still can't put it together because the bullpen is maybe the worst bullpen I've ever seen. They like my uncle Matt when I went up to Somerville the other week was like, yeah, if if Dennis Santana came in, he was like, "Oh, who is that? Who's the closer they have right now?" And I was like, "Oh, I think it's Dennis Santana." And he's like, "Yeah, whenever he comes on, I just turn the game off, even if the Pirates are up." So it's gotten bad. We actually had a talk the other while I was up there too, when he was like, "Yeah, like it's just kind of all the older fans who go to Pittsburgh now just for the nostalgia, before Skeens got there at least, where he sells out, but." It's dreary. We're actually now tied with the Marlins after they, beat us in a series. So not too happy about the Marlins right now. So
Well, you're not last in the division, and I work for a single A for the Pirates. Got a pretty good farming system, I'll tell you that. So stay
I
tuned. Maybe you'll
yeah,
see
but
some success in the coming years.
yeah, I've been hearing that for the past 10 years. So not expecting it, but I'll I don't even know if I want to say I'll stay hopeful because I'm not.
I don't know. You guys had a pretty good off season, and you didn't have a bad start. So I wouldn't rule the Pirates out. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased.
I mean, if the Reds can make the playoffs last year, the Pirates definitely can this year. Like,
Yeah.
there's always enough
Well,
room for that
actually,
one team.
funny enough, we're 2 games back right now, but have to leapfrog 6 teams to get into the third wild card. So it's an uphill
Mm,
battle.
yeah.
And if the Pirates are facing an uphill battle, just give up is what I've learned. So
Holy, I mean, we're not even halfway through the season, man. Have some
I
faith.
know.
Like, we're not even at
no,
the All-Star break.
I had faith maybe like 2 years ago when it was like maybe late July and the Pirates were like a game and a half, 2 games back, and then they just fell apart. So
There's so much left to be played. Like we've seen the best teams tank in the second half of the season. Like just wait. I spent the All-Star break. Wait till complain after the All-Star break. But staying in the National League, Cole, I know you guys are one game behind 500 and you are so excited that they are finally winning 500. So tell us about the Marlins, please.
Matty Ice,
The
you got to
worst
keep your
Florida team.
you you got to keep
wait,
your head up.
breaking news! Breaking news! Issa Torres has committed to Texas.
University? Not Texas Tech?
Texas University. She
Well,
just posted on her
Wow.
University
Instagram.
of Austin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You-
good for her. I mean, she's a Texas native and she's a Longhorn.
I'm sad.
Wow.
Boards down,
Wow.
boards down,
Wow.
but not.
Good for her. I mean, she's going home. Makes sense. She's a Texas native, and I'm glad she didn't go to Texas Tech. I can't imagine her going anywhere else than Texas. So good for her. I'm very excited to see what she does. But continuing with MLB team talk, sticking on the Diamond Sports. Cole, I know you were in the midst of telling us about the Marlins. But that was really great breaking news, Matty Ice. Thank you for telling us. That was we needed to know that.
Shout out Avery. She texted me about
Now we
it.
have
And I
our
was like,
live
oh,
reactions too.
Yeah.
Technically, a built-in instant reaction. I love it.
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because the Marlins game actually just started.
Okay.
7-0 loss last night to the Phillies. I think it was a little bit of a wake-up call because they have been pretty much the hottest team in baseball since the start of June. I just cut that out because I was going to call them Marlins Twitter is calling them the gay and sexy Marlins for the month of June.
Fascinating.
And it's kind of hard
What?
it's kind of hard to explain where I'm at as a Marlins fan because
I'm not cutting that out.
it's
I'm leaving that in there.
there's an account on Marlins Twitter. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the clip from Impractical Jokers where Sal goes to a baseball game and he's
Let's
chanting.
get sexy.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much been
You go to a Yankees game.
that has pretty much been our mantra for the Marlins in the month of June. If you see me posting on Instagram with hashtag LGS, that stands for Let's Get Sexy. 10-2 and 10-3 now in the month of June, 4 straight series wins. Still a little bit to complain about. Like Marlins are a game under 500. I'm not on Matty Ice's side. There's so much time left in the season. There's many more games. My gripe right now is with the All-Star voting system because Otto Lopez is the best hitter in baseball and he's not even going to make the All-Star game.
It's Canada. That's messing like it up. Like literally George Springer's like on like one of the top of the list. Anyway, sorry, but it's Canada. Canada as a whole is messing up the voting system.
Well, it's like also I'm looking at it right now. Like for the NL, the players above Otto Lopez right now, Trey Turner, who is having, one of his worst career hitting years. Mookie Betts, like Otto Lopez has been. Ellie De La Cruz is hurt. He's above him. CJ Abrams, that's fine. He's deserving. Nationals have been really fun to watch. But Ellie, Mookie, and Trey Turner being above Otto Lopez is laughable. He is the best hitter in baseball. The Marlins would be nowhere without him. And Xavier Edwards, like that is the best middle infield in baseball right now. Xavier Edwards is 8th on the second baseman voting list. So Marlins hitting just is still super inconsistent. The pitching, Uria's hurt. He's coming back, hopefully. He just started a rehab assignment. He's going to pitch on Thursday. Griffin Conine is going to come back. He just made his rehab assignment debut tonight. So the hitting has been super inconsistent. Max Meyer, the only qualified pitcher in baseball left without a loss. He's 7-0. He's been unbelievable. He dueled against Schemes on Sunday. Sorry, Matty Ice. I mean, that was a great game to watch as a Marlins fan. And we should have swept the Pirates as well. We should have won on Saturday. Horrible, horrible loss. 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. But I'm not going to lie. From about that game where the Mets swept us to complete that sweep, I think it was June 26th. Sorry, June 31st. I pretty much tuned out on the Marlins until they swept the Diamondbacks. And that included a series win against the Rays, and I didn't even text Gia or anything.
I actually was very I was waiting. I was staying silent. I was waiting to hear some crap from you. But you chose to stay respectful and polite, and I appreciated that because yeah, I've had up and downs with the Rays, but I'll let you finish on your Marlins spiel.
No, I mean it's baseball. It's up and down. I just bought my I think like ninth piece of Marlins memorabilia. I bought the Fourth of July hat, which is so sick. I will be wearing that probably every day once I get it up until July 4th. It's an up and down season. I mean, I think they'll probably lose this series against the Phillies. All depends on tonight. And then tomorrow, rubber match with Sandy on the mound. But they play the Giants, the Rangers, the Cardinals, the Rockies to end off June. Like those are besides the Rangers, and the Cardinals have been, above average this season, but that's a series against the Giants and the Rockies that they should win. And at this point last season, the Marlins were like 25 games under 500 or something. So I like where we're at. Clayton McCullough still terrorist. I'm not a fan of him. He has still lost more games
So
than
you
he's
tell me to
won.
cut out gay, but you can leave in terrorist? I'm cutting out neither. I'm cutting out neither.
I have the last episode I was on when I was just on like an 8-minute Marlins rant where I don't think I said anything positive. Like I'm being very optimistic and positive about this team right now, except for the manager and every single Marlins fan. If there's any that are listening to this, shout out Will. He's like a fake-ish Marlins fan, more Braves, but he texts me about the Marlins a lot actually. Every Marlins
What?
fan, he does. He actually does.
He's like a
text me.
Miami area sports fan for no
Yeah.
reason.
Oh, I guess, yeah, he's a Heat fan, which I never understood, but
From Pensacola.
yeah, I never understood that, but
Yeah. Well, mostly it's trash talk about the Marlins because, I guess he claims the Braves. So whenever the Braves own the Marlins, so he could just, trash talk me whenever. But I'm done. Stop texting me about the Marlins if you don't have anything positive to say because it's the June Marlins and when they're doing well and no one texts me when they're doing well. No one.
honestly, I feel
So
the same way about my Rays. I would like to say they're the better Florida team. And I recently got a DM, no context. Someone that had been in our department sent me a DM, a video of why, even though the Rays are doing well, why they would never make the World Series and why they're actually horrible and why they suck. And I responded back, why would you send this to me? And they're probably listening. And I was like, why did you send that to me? I'm so passionate about my Rays. You'll never hear me say, actually, that's a lie. I will talk negatively about them, but I won't, even though they're not first in the division right now and they lost last night to the Dodgers. I'm not mad about the loss whatsoever. I mean, they're 5-8 in June so far. Like that's not what I want to be seeing whatsoever. I watched with my own eyeballs them get shut out by the Tigers and have Ben Williamson close that game because they just ran out of bullpen guys and like they got swept that series at home, which was horrible. But they were 18-8 in May, and this team just surprises me constantly. They're such the Moneyball team; it blows my mind. Like the Dodgers series, like that always like means something to me because obviously you have like the big bad Dodgers that are paying almost $170 million just in penalties last year, like not even with their players. Like this year, I believe they're spending over $400 million, while the Rays are spending $90 million in all players combined. And you have, and then, they lose 4-5 last night. It was just because Steven Matz lets a solo shot to pinch hitter Miggy Rojas. Like I'm not complaining about that loss whatsoever. Like you've seen offensive production from these players like Ryan Valade and like Ben Williamson, who are coming in and you're like, oh my God, who are you trading? Who are you bringing in to trade away Bilal and Jake Mangum? And I was upset, but I was like, okay, wow. Like I'm really not that upset. And you have players like Aranda and Caminero who are still making less than $1 million and rank in the top 50 in OPS amongst qualified hitters. Like this is such a miracle team. And it's so awesome to see like the Dodgers and Rays series. Like, you guys can laugh when I say this, but like that very much could be like a World Series like that. It really could. Shaking your head for. Acting like
it hasn't happened recently.
Yeah, no, acting like it didn't happen in 2020. Like, yeah, why is that so crazy?
COVID asterisks.
Once.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, once. The Rays have never won a title. I'm getting defensive now because you have, players from that team, Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow. The starting pitchers for the Rays, like all starting pitchers for the Rays, combined make less than Tyler Glasnow alone and like 1 million more than Blake Snell right now. And you see them competing like basically at the Dodgers are second in MLB right now, and the Rays are fourth or fifth.
That's how the Rays are every single year.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's just a brand of baseball they play.
But I thought that we were going downhill when you see, players like Isaac Paredes, Randy Rosarina, like Bilal, Jake Mangum. Like obviously Jake Mangum wasn't like a cornerstone for the team, but like I believed in him. He would have been an up and coming player. Like I thought. I always question their decisions, trading players for a pack of marbles, whatever you want to call it. But they really do. Bag of chips, whatever. Like they always see more.
You guys can have Pete Fairbanks back if you want. We'll send him back to you because
didn't he do well for you guys the other night?
He is garbage.
He got the save.
Yeah.
Did he not get the save?
We pay him $13 million and he's blown more games than he has saves on the year. Yeah, he got the save the other night, but he gave up a solo homer.
He was playing the Pirates.
Yeah. And if we had a 1-run lead, like I'm with Matty Ice when you were just talking about the Pirates closer. When Pete Fairbanks comes in, I want to turn the game off instantly. Like I despise him. And Peter Bendix, I can't believe. I mean, $13 million. The Marlins. This is why
Fairbanks was like the big offseason acquisition, right?
Yeah, he was like they're just not. They're not. I'm done talking about the Marlins.
Well, and Christopher Morel, who we DFA'd, the Rays DFA'd after finally because they had no. He had no options left. But anyways,
he is also terrible. He is.
I know.
He is probably the worst baseball player I've watched in a
the
very,
Marlins
very long
picked
time.
him up. The Marlins are going to DFA him, and we'll never see him play baseball again. And I'm sorry to say that, but I already thought I'd never see him play baseball again after the Rays DFA'd him. But yeah, Trey, I don't even want to introduce the Yankees like this, but they're a game and a half ahead of the Rays in the division.
Correct. It's great. I love baseball. After watching like the Seminoles fall short all of the time, seeing a functional baseball team with depth has been fantastic.
Before you get into that, I just want to point out what a horrible day I had. I watched FSU lose in the regional and then went to the Trop and was like, I'm gonna make myself feel better. I'll have a nice day at the Trop. And I watched the Rays get shut out for the second time of the season and close and have Ben Williamson close, their second baseman close on the mound. So that was a horrific day for me. I'm sorry, but continue, Trey.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I mean, the Yankees, their best pitcher, Max Fried, is out. Like, he's just resumed his throwing program. Aaron Judge is out for the next month and a half. Trent Grisham is injured. And we've won 6 of our last 7. Cam Schlittler is a Cy Young candidate. Ben Rice is arguably in the MVP race. He leads the Yankees in hits, RBIs, average, OPS. Just fantastic guy who's on, I believe, the league minimum still. Like, he hasn't even reached arbitration. And the Yankees are, like you said, a game and a half ahead of the AL East. They are, I believe, the best record in the AL, third best in all of baseball, if I recall correctly.
I think they're 4th best in all of baseball, and the Rays. I know the Rays are like right behind them in like MLB.
Yeah,
overall,
it's just if you told me before the season, hey, Max Fried is going to go down for a significant amount of time. Trent Grisham, who you're paying $20 million, is going to go down for a significant amount of time. Aaron Judge is going to be out for all of June and the beginning of July. I'd be like, okay, so I'm not watching baseball this year. But the Yankees are doing good. Like I'm not used like I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the 2023 season when Aaron Judge tore his toe at Dodger Stadium. He was gone for like all of June and July, and the Yankees missed the playoffs for the first time since 2016 because their next best hitter was like you had Willie Calhoun getting reps at DH, and I don't even know where he is now. I don't know what he's up to. I assume he's out of the league. I mean, it's just a nobody player. And it's just so exciting to see a team built by Brian Cashman, of all people, that has depth and the ability to win without Aaron Judge hitting 60 home runs a year. And I mean, I guess we just recreated him combining Ben Rice and Cody Bellinger, and that's Aaron Judge in the aggregate. But like, it's just we're gonna send two like Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice. We're gonna send two first basemen to the All Star game. Like 38-year-old Paul Goldschmidt is doing fantastic. It's a great time to be a Yankees fan. I'm just gonna let you know that it's fantastic.
It's
If
increasingly seeming like the Rays and the Yankees are going to be seeing each other in the ALDS, so far at least.
That'll be an exciting series, and I hope that when that time comes, I'll be able to make the trip down to Tropicana Field and watch the Yankees blow y'all out. But I mean, I
I
will
don't
tell
think
you,
I'd be able, we would not be able to be friends for that entire series, but it's okay.
if Otto Lopez played on the Yankees, you'd be talking about him the same way you're talking about Ben Rice. Just
He
keep
probably
that in
would.
mind.
He probably will be in 2 years.
Yeah. No, I give
known
it. I mean,
Yankees farm team, Miami Marlins, like Jazz Chisholm has been a little bit of a disappointment. That's really my only issue with this season.
A little
Like,
bit.
I mean,
Bro's been
it's
wearing his teammates' pants all season just for good luck because he can't hit
well,
anything.
he also in his defense started using Aaron Judge's bat since Aaron Judge has been injured. So he is just what's like that wedding thing, something borrowed. Like I don't know if Jazz he just got married before the season, so he's has something borrowed all season. But like it's it's kind of disappointing to see in his walk year, but I think he's just trying to play the long game, so he doesn't deserve a big contract, so he can come back to the Yankees for cheap. I think that's his like his plan. You know,
I mean,
Speaking
Jack.
of extending contracts, actually finish that thought, Cole, because I'm steering in a different direction a little bit.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I think Jazz has always been like, even what going back to the Marlins, he's always been super overrated. Like he has never been this like superstar player. Like he's just flashy. That was like the whole
he
his
was a
whole
Silver Slugger
allure.
last year.
Like I mean, yeah, but you
Do
like
we
you're
remember him in the home run derby and then him saying, like, I wanted to protect my swing, bro? Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, the home run. I don't really
he's
care about a
never,
mid-season
I
skills
don't
tournament.
either. I don't either, but you'd never seen that, like, ever. He's not, you're right, Cole. He's flashy. And for Cole to be a Marlins fan saying that, he's
I
always
mean,
been flashy and overrated.
going into this season, I would have said he's like the fourth best Yankees hitter. Like you got Judge and then Bellinger and then Rice and then Jazz. Now Goldschmidt has jumped Jazz at this point, and Rice has jumped Bellinger. But
You think
like
he's over Grisham, even though Grisham's hurt?
right now, Grisham's been like awful. Like if we're like talking for if we're including the contract, I would rather have Jazz Chisholm right now than Grisham on the team. Like Grisham's making $20 million
Hmm.
to do nothing. Like Grisham, I by the end of the season, I could very well see him being like our fourth or fifth string outfielder. Like if Spencer Jones starts to learn how to hit at a major league level, then we're gonna have him in center field, Judge in right field, and Belly in left, and then I mean we were playing Caballero in right field for like a significant amount of time since Judge has
Well,
been gone. Like
that's not a bad thing. He can play anywhere.
I know that's what I'm
Oh, I
saying is
miss
that
him
like
so much.
we have Caballero in right field and Grisham on the bench, like and Grisham's making 20 million a year. Like
Yeah. Okay. Valid. Yeah. It's okay. We'll take Caballero back.
that's
No
not what I was
complaints
saying at
there
all. That is not. I was
whatsoever.
not dishing on Caballero. That was not the point of that argument. But
All right. Let's get into some winners and losers. Trey, you want to kick us off?
yeah. So winner of the week, the Tartan Army. All of these Scottish soccer fans who have descended onto the city of Boston. They are having a great time. Nearly drank the city dry, which is not something I thought could happen in Boston. You know, it's a bunch of like it's I believe the largest Irish diaspora in the United States of America. That I feel like that city would know how to handle their drinks. And my loser is the Boston Red Sox. You know, like I said, there's a lot of Irish Scottish unity going on in Boston right now, and it's a lot of Celtic culture. And the the Scots decided to go to a Boston Red Sox game and basically take over the stadium. They were chanting their soccer songs as the Red Sox are playing, and then the Red Sox lose in front of the entire nation of Scotland and embarrass themselves. And I feel like they could have been better hosts, in my humble opinion. And I also just hate the Red Sox, so that's my loser of the week all the time. But
Valid. Matty Ice. Oh wait, who's your winner?
just the Scots, like the
Oh,
people of
right,
Scotland.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, right. Matty Ice.
My winner is Carolina Hurricanes head coach Rod Brindamore, who is, I don't know if he's the first ever, but he's definitely one of the first to win the Stanley Cup as a player. He won in '06 and then as a coach. So great week for him. A lot of shirtless pics of him going around because he's kind of ripped. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny too. Uh, my loser, my hopes of watching the MLB season. Just listening to all y'all talk about your teams. Maybe not as much with Cole and the Marlins, but maybe the Rays and Yankees. Hearing how good they're doing, makes me sad because I have no hope that my team will ever reach that level. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cole.
It's all right, Matty Ice. Marlins are down 3-0 in the first, so my
Dang.
hopes might
Who are
be
they playing? The Phillies?
yes. My winner. Let's talk about some good baseball. Jacob Mizorowski last week threw a 15 strikeout Maddox, which is basically unheard of. In the same game, he set the MLB record for fastest pitch ever thrown at 105 miles per hour. And his last 15th strikeout in the ninth, he struck out a Phillies batter with an 103-mile-per-hour pitch, which is utterly insane. Still throwing 103 in the ninth
A
inning.
complete game. A complete game, by the way. Did you mention that? Yeah.
Yeah, a
Crazy.
Maddox for anyone that doesn't know
Oh,
is
yeah.
a complete game shutout under 100 pitches, and he
Crazy.
faced the minimum. He only allowed one hit, and they turned a double play, so he faced the minimum. Unreal performance, and it was against the Phillies, who probably have the NL Cy Young favorite in Christopher Sanchez. But now Mizorowski, after that, I mean, he's winning over the hearts of a lot of MLB fans, especially with Pat Murphy calling him Forrest Gump like after the game. I found that pretty funny, but we'll see what he does the rest of the season. My loser is Texas Tech. The whole Brennan Sorsby dilemma saga. So hard to follow between the rulings that he was suspended 2 games. Now, I think it was yesterday, it was announced that he's going to enter the NFL supplemental draft, which is also extremely confusing. It's just a very confusing situation. Texas Tech, also, I was reading, is not going to get any money that they already paid Sorsby back. And he was on probably a huge $5-6 million NIL deal. They probably already paid him. And now Sorsby, maybe he's the winner out of all this, because the NFL, I don't really think cares if you gamble on college sports. And now a lot of people think he was a first round talent this year. He can go, and a team can have him playing on their roster in training camp in late July, early August, as a potential second or third round supplemental pick in place of a first round talent. So loser, just Texas Tech out of all of this, because now they're stuck with Will Hammond as their quarterback in 2026. And he's no Brendan Sorsby, even though he gambles on his own team.
Also, loser being Texas Tech because they missed out on Issa Torres, which we all thought she was going to go to Texas Tech. I'm very thankful that she didn't. But yeah, they definitely missed out on that too, because I'm sure they were more than just interested on her. But my winner and loser of the week, my loser, De'Aaron Fox, for obvious reasons, but also because there's been a petition made to match his contract just so he can be kicked off the team. And him and his wife both unfollowed the Spurs on Instagram. So it kind of just seems like they have some beef tea going on. So yeah, he's my loser of the week. My winner of the week is the sports world. I feel like this was a great week, but also a great calendar year for the sports. Going a little chronologically, Texas A&M won their very first volleyball natty. Obviously, Indiana won their first natty. Carolina and the Knicks won for the first time in over 20 years. Yeah, and what else?
Just the World Cup in general.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Seahawks beat the Seahawks won for the first time in over 10 years. Like it was a lot of like,
Dodgers won
first
this year.
times. Well, they won back to back. That was the first time that had happened since 2000. So
I'm talking
that
about
was kind of crazy.
2026. They're going to three-peat.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that. Hopefully my Rays are up against them and do not lose that.
I want to mention another sport just because it's a very important week for golf. U.S. Open is this week, and I know no one listening probably cares about this, but Scotty Scheffler is looking to become the seventh golfer to complete the career Grand Slam this weekend. I mean, you didn't even mention Rory back to back at the Masters. It's been a great year for horse racing as well. We gotta recognize the niche sports as well.
This is true. Also, there's an FSU commit who's in the U.S. Open.
Yes, Miles Russell. He's the number one player in college golf, or number one player in high school golf. And he's a junior in high school. He's not even coming to FSU next year. One more year. And in the qualifier for the U.S. Open, fellow FSU commit Charlie Woods was as his caddy.
I saw that. So I guess maybe not FSU Golf 2027, but FSU Golf 2028. Here we go. We're coming for the natty. But that's it for tonight for Tomahawk Talk. We will be back here next Monday, or actually we'll be in the studio. We'll be back on Zoom the following week. Check out the Graveyard Shift wherever you get your podcasts. Follow V89 Sports on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. Check out our website with all of our writing and photography. Have a great week. And as always, from my co-host, Cole Kruger, and tonight's panelists, Trey Pope and Matty Ice, I'm your host, Gia Ciaccio, and you've been listening to WVFS Tallahassee, the voice of Florida State.